What up, everybody? We're back
What
for another
up?
week. I'm pumped up after that amazing starting music.
The
And we're ready
banger.
for another episode of Anime on Draft, episode 145. I'm your host, Drew, this week. We got the whole crew back together in quarantine, making the most out of it. But we got some beers this week.
Excuse me.
We got some anime premieres. We got some finales. We got it all. So, welcome to the show. Like I said, joined by Alec Rolando and. Oh, Mark. That's right. He's there. The whole crew's
That guy.
here.
Yo.
I always forget about Mark too. He's just got one of
It's
those
all right.
faces.
Cheers to that.
Mark's like,
Cheers,
Wait,
mates.
fuck you.
He's like, fuck
Cheers,
you,
mate.
dick.
Too.
Hey, Mark.
No, but like I said, we got everybody here. Rolando, Mark, and I are drinking some Mikkeller beers. We are drinking the Hummel Nord. It is a limited edition New England style double IPA from Mikkeller. And if you are in California, make sure you head to Mikkeller's website because they are shipping beer.
Nice,
it
nice.
requires you to be in California, but we all got a nice kind of
Except for me.
I don't know, beer care package for our friend Alec. So Alec is drinking a different beer. Would you like to introduce that before we start rolling?
Yeah, so in true Drew fashion, it starts with an N. So the Nisekoi beer, Nisekoi
Yeah.
Brewing Company Otis. It's actually
Beautiful.
Ninkasi Brewing Company Otis Oatmeal Stout. So they're based
Cool.
out of Oregon,
Nice.
Eugene, Oregon. It says.
And so I missed out on the hazy IPA last week, so we're running it back this week with a New England style. And Alec, true to form, is jumping back to stouts. Don't blame you. But getting beer right now is a little bit difficult.
A little bit hard.
If you can support your local breweries like we did, maybe order some online, get them shipped to you. Easier in California, not sure about other places. But yeah, it's glad that they're doing that. I was thinking about Modern Times actually has it so you can go to one of their tasting rooms and you buy a time slot and you put everything in your cart and you pay for it and they run it out to your car. So kind of nice.
Where is that? Modern Times, is it?
Modern Times, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So everyone's kind of adapting to this kind of fluid, crazy situation.
Buying stuff online, you go there and pick it up. Lots of places are doing that here in LA.
They check your ID
So-
there, or how do they
Don't
do
know.
that?
Yeah, you just show them a receipt, check your ID, and
Yeah. I think you can't
be
pick
on
it
your
up
way.
unless you have your ID, because that's how I
Right.
picked up Persona 5.
There you go.
They gotta make sure you're you.
Right. I know
And
Modern
21.
Times they actually did mention you have to be the person who paid for the order has to be on
Yeah.
whoever is picking it up. So that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll talk about those beers in just a little bit. But first, what we want to get into is our Orishiri finale. So the last episode of Ski Phoenix, the final episode of Nisei Monogatari, our fake ghost story. I wanted to start off talking about kind of the overall theme, at least of the second part of the series, and then we can kind of get our overall thoughts, especially Mark and Alec, for those of you who don't know, they were watching it for the first time. So we definitely want to kind of figure out what you guys felt about
First
it.
time.
But before we do that, I kind of wrote it down here. So like the theme of good versus evil is pretty apparent, at least in this final showdown between Yozuru and Araragi and Shinobu. I kind of asked the question last week, and it was kind of a loaded question because we didn't have kind of like the full scope, the full story about what's going on with this Phoenix. But now that we do have more information about it, we learned that it's actually not really a Phoenix; it's another fake. So again, themes of fakes coming in. This dying bird that removes a mother's child basically and replaces it with its own so that it can continue kind of the life cycle. So with that said, do we now kind of agree more with Yozuru's theory of being like the ultimate good? This thing invaded the family. It's bad. Get rid of it. Or do we kind of agree with Araragi where he's like, it's my sister. I kissed her. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any differently about her. She's going to be part of my family kind of no matter what. I guess let's go with you, Mark. What side of the fence do you land on here?
I think it's still in the same place where I was last year, where this is a very difficult decision, and
Last year?
I don't. sorry, last week. Last year.
I'm like,
It
wow.
feels
He's been
this
holding
past
on to
week
these
has been
feelings for a whole year.
I didn't
This
know.
past week has
I
been a
didn't
year, man.
know. Holy shit.
Quite the year.
It's been a year.
It's
What a
like I
year.
haven't left my house.
Whoa, me
Uh,
too.
yeah, since last week, I don't know if I mentioned this or if this like popped up after we were talking about it, but I was thinking like, well, they had, like have spent so long, and they obviously treat Skihi as like she's family. They know nothing different. Like they never would have realized this. They could have gone their whole lives without ever knowing. And it would have been fine, like nothing really would have changed, maybe until some accident happened. But like regardless, yeah, I still feel like I'm in line with Araragi, like in his decision that he's gonna treat her the same way. He's gonna treat her as his little sister. She's not gonna be this sort of mystery figure or be discarded from the family. And I don't quite see it as like evil, because I feel like what we talked about last week, as well as that she filled this void in their life that they kind of were I guess needing in a sense.
I feel like probably most of us kind of agree with that, and I would guess speak up now if you don't. The only thing that I just kind of want to bring up in relation to that, it's like it is kind of fucked up though. It's like this bird just infiltrates the family, like discards this life, and it's like mine now.
Yeah, I don't think
pretty-
that I have no problems with the sister. I'm like, fuck the parent though. You a bitch. That's messed up.
The
But
parent-
it's,
What?
Or
no,
is this
they
the
didn't have a
bird
choice.
doing it?
Just the bird just shows up,
That's how
and
the
it's
bird.
Yeah.
That's how
Oh,
the
it does
bird
it to itself. Oh, now it makes more
continues
So,
sense.
like,
That's fucked
like
up.
the way like Shinobu kind of compares it, it's like they knock an egg out of the nest and replaces
Yeah.
it with its own because they can't raise it. So
must
like
have
kind of in
not
order to
been
continue the life cycle or whatever. Yeah.
I thought I was watching,
All
but I
good.
guess I missed something.
No, I had to go on. I had to rewind it and watch
Read
it
it
again,
again.
because yeah, it was kind of confusing, because they mentioned like two different birds, and then they said that when she dies, it's gonna become a phoenix and then be reborn, but then it's like not gonna be the
Wait.
same again.
what Shinobu said was a lot of people mistake the actual legend for for the phoenix,
For the
and saying
phoenix.
the actual story comes from the cockatrice, because that's how it reproduces. It can't roost on its own, so it knocks out other eggs from another nest and lets the mother bird
Lays
take
them
care
real quick.
of its own eggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how she's comparing this
I see.
situation, where the immortal being that Skihi is now
Mhm.
is this phoenix, but it reproduces in a similar way. So it implants itself into a woman's womb, and then is born into their family, like kind of into their roost nest or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's not a phoenix in like the fabled sense or in the mythological
Mythological
sense.
Catches
yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Comes out of the
A
ashes.
lot of these like myths and things too that you see like in this show and like other shows too. We kind of saw it in what was that stupid show that I hated?
Sorry, you're a
That
little
stupid show that you hate.
Inspector.
Oh.
They say like a lot of these different myths and things, they have like a real like there is some sort of like people like think about them so that they become real. There's like kind of that going on,
Mhm.
and so the story gets distorted over time and essentially becomes kind of what either people will it or just there's always truth in them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we talked about kind of like the good versus evil in the sense of like where Skihi falls and where Araragi is kind of fighting to defend her, and those are just using her sense of justice to kind of destroy her. The interesting thing that she also brings up is kind of the difference of thoughts between like her and her like colleagues. So she kind of drops the bomb that like, oh, I knew Oshino, I knew Kaiki, and there was one other that was kind of mentioned, but
Mhm.
really get bring up. But they all fall on different sides of the spectrum. Oshino, as we know, is kind of right in the middle. This is good, it's not bad. It's like kind of like that median would it be like lawful or like just like true neutral?
Neutral.
Kind of like right there in the alignment where you have Yozuru, who's like pure good, lawful good, and then you have Kaiki over at the other end of the spectrum, like chaotic evil or evil, if you kind of keeping it a little bit more simple. But the interesting thing that kind of gets bring up, she mentions, humans are born evil, and if they end up doing good things in their life, it is contrary to their true nature, and therefore they are a fake person. Again, coming back to kind of that idea of being fake. That was scary.
Sorry, that was my foot.
I thought it was like a cat or something. It was like your cat.
Who's coming in? Who's behind me?
But
It's Slendy.
I want to open it up to the group. Like, what do you think about that statement? Just of like humans are innately evil. Do we agree with it? Do we disagree with it?
Hell yeah, we suck.
Well, that was from a different Chinese philosopher, right? So she quoted two different
Right.
Chinese philosophers, so the law of fundamental good and then the law of fundamental evil. I mean, if you're getting into a conversation about morality, that's definitely a philosophical debate, and there's a lot of philosophers that go over this subject, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with the reasoning that you're born evil because human nature at its core is like kind of for like the desire is what kind of drives you, and like your sense of greed is kind of what defines you as a person, because there are more, I guess there's more than just that in terms of your actual like human nature. And the fact that we can have this sort of morality discussion is like, in a sense, like it doesn't necessarily place us in good or evil, in my opinion. Because I don't think there are really any other rational beings on our planet that distinguish between good and evil, right?
Right.
It's sort of a unique human thing. So I don't know if you can necessarily classify them as either. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I'm sorry, I was really distracted. I just realized the menu's wrong, and I'm trying to fix it.
Mark?
Oh, did I send it to you?
You probably did. I just forgot to put it up there.
I did not. Let me send it to you real quick. But yeah, I feel like I kind of fall in line with that same kind of train of thought too. It's hard for me to believe that, or to accept that people are just inherently born evil. I think that seems like a very broad and kind of slightly extreme statement. Solely because, like Rolando said, we are free to kind of make those decisions and to debate about whether or not the decisions that we make are good or evil, or good or bad. I think that in itself, that the way that we are able to kind of contemplate, what is good and what is bad or evil in a sense, I think having these types of discussions is like in itself, like I think I think that it's inherently positive, and it's good to be thinking about those things, because I want to believe in the positivity of people, that that people will make the correct choices, and that they will choose to better themselves or the world. But of course, like Alex said, people suck, so we don't always make those types of hard decisions.
That's the like blessing and or curse of like having free will. It's like you have the ability to make that choice, and a lot of times people make the selfish choice, and they do bad shit. They do hood rat shit.
Just want to do a hood rat shit with my friends.
But yeah, I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of like this whole philosophical conversation, kind of like as Rolando mentioned. But I will spare everybody that. But if you're interested in kind of like the philosophy behind a lot of these things, Monogatari is kind of a good show to kind of see like what their portrayal of a lot of these things are. So
it's interesting that they bring that up, though. Like it just it kind of struck a chord with me as I was watching it, and I was like, I need to go back and watch that again, because that was just a lot of information. It's kind of like a heavy subject to throw in there on a finale of a second season of a show. It's like,
And it's kind of cool too because it kind of like throws these things out there and it like wraps it all up and kind of, I don't know if it's like the perfect package, but it's like a nice neat package where, you know, she like walks away and she says like, you know, oh, I kind of behaved like Oshino in this situation.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, right in the middle ground, as she like leaves and makes like,
Like,
it's a choice that she makes that's kind of against her moral code, but she's still able to do it, which is kind of back to the conversation that we're having of, you know, having that choice, which is kind of cool. So get these heavier subjects that get broached, definitely one of the major selling points of the show. Couple other things I just wanted to mention about this particular episode. Anytime they bring in like real life lore in regards to like the ghost stories or like these apparitions and things, it's really cool to me. I like absolutely love the scene where Araragi and Shinobu are biking to their, you know, the confrontation or whatever, and they're having the conversation, and he's like, "You remembered a human's name? Like that's so very unlike you." And then she goes into the whole conversation of like, you know, the sun's always my enemy, but you know, the first half of her name has the word for moon in it, and the moon's always been very good to me. That scene always like gives me chills just because it's like so cool. It's the fact that like this huge, like hugely powerful or once hugely powerful being like even acknowledges that for a second. Not only like acknowledging like Araragi and his family, but just like the greater of like talking about like her lore and things that she follows. It's just like super cool to me. Really love that. We talked about this already, but Oshino, Kaiki, and Yozuru are former classmates. They represent good, evil, middle ground. Kind of mentioned that, and then there's a fourth member that they also mentioned. We will learn more about that person eventually. And then the other like kind of
As
fucked up
is
part
true
that
with
is
the
like
show all the time. Eventually.
that's right. The final like kind of messed up thing is Kaiki sells out Skihi to Yosuru, and it's just like the final like Kaiki's just like always in there meddling with shit, and they just like drop that bomb, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Like we thought we were done with you." He shows up, you know, in Mr. Donuts in one episode, and then he shows up here selling out Araragi. We don't necessarily know the motives behind that yet, but we talked about it a little bit in terms of his love and infatuation with Senjo Gahara. Maybe it has something to that. So, with that said, I'll actually start with you, Rolando. You've watched this for the second time now. Any overall impressions, at least for Nisei Monogatari? I know you mentioned that it was probably your favorite of what you've seen of the Monogatari series, but any overall impressions or thoughts going through the second time?
I actually didn't remember these last two episodes as much as I thought I did, but I guess the fact that I had mentioned in the previous episodes that I thought that Yozuru was an onmyoji from was it Kyoto, and then the whole story about an apparition entering itself into a void of a family. I was like, I guess maybe I've seen this before and just didn't remember. But it's interesting seeing it the second time because I can focus more on those details, like the whole philosophy behind everything, and kind of, you know, why, like you said, why Shinobu likes Skihi because of the whole name, and all that jazz. So it's interesting to see it again, and kind of have a new perspective over it. But yeah, this second arc for me is just kind of boring. That's the only thing I can really fault it on. Like this last episode I thought was good, but it's just the lead up to it just felt very like droll in my opinion. Yeah. I feel like they could have done it better on seeing it again.
I kind of mentioned it as we were going into it. Like Karen B has definitely done better in terms of like the pacing and overall story than Ski Phoenix. It seems like kind of rushed and thrown together, and whereas like I would say even the first 3 episodes aren't very good. You get the toothbrush scene, which is like kind of whatever, and then you have like the 2 actual story, and then like,
uncomfortable.
And then like the actual finale. The finale is very good, I think, but like the lead up to it, I think I agree, it can be done better. What I want to mention too is like after me, like this is probably 4th time I've seen it. I think there's like definite value in like watching it again because you know the full story, and I like it for that. But there's also a lot of value or like a lot of nostalgia and like remembering how I saw it the first time and remembering like all the questions I had was like, who's this person? You know, why are they so important? Like, who's this other character that they're mentioning? So having the background is really valuable, but also like going into it blind is also kind of fun.
I do have
And
to
with
say
that,
though,
Mhm.
I did actually really like in this episode how Yozuru brought up the comparison that you brought up earlier. The like whether what's more valuable, the real thing or a fake,
Mhm.
and like their three differing opinions, because that's actually a
Mhm.
really interesting philosophical conversation as well. And like I don't
Yeah.
know what you guys specifically think about it, but like thinking like how the three of them are like different parts of the spectrum is like really interesting to see, and like how they act as well, in terms of like the supernatural.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, with that, I do kind of segue into my folks who are just watching it for the first time and getting your overall impressions. So, Alec, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Overall thoughts of just Nisei Monogatari, not necessarily the series as a whole.
So I'll do both. So Nisei Monogatari, I did enjoy watching this. I agree that the ending got slow until this last episode, which I did enjoy a lot more than the previous ones. Um, but I really enjoyed the like beginning of Nisei Monogatari, and then talking about it as the series as a whole, my whole two seasons. I like this one so much better than the first one. I understand kind of after watching this like the necessity of the first season. Like you got to go into each character because there's a lot of depth behind each character and all that. But God, was it hard for me at least. So I'm glad we're past that. It makes it a little more bearable when you get new characters this time and they go through them in like an episode and it's relatively quick because you know everybody else. But overall, I enjoyed the story. It is very thought provoking. I was pretty happy that that I was right about the two people that showed up. I was like, they got to be one of those like trickster people, con men that she talked about. I was excited about that. I was like, yes, I figured something out. And I think that's a cool thing about the show. Like you guys always talk about seeing those cameos or the what is it, throwback, not throwbacks, but you know, like they're pointing at other shows and they have those references. Thank you.
And you were about to say it.
I was, yeah. I think it's cool when in a show like this where it has a lot going on, you can figure something out or point it out and be like, I think it's this, and you're right. You just feel so accomplished because there's so much going on and you could easily be wrong. And I think it's a fun part of the show.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Mark, same question.
Yeah, I like this season a lot. And I think, like Alex said, a lot of the build up and the character development that happens in the first season, it's a lot because there's so much that happens and there's so many new characters. But the second season, I do agree as well that yeah, the first arc was definitely a lot better. It was a little bit better paced. Story overall was a little bit more. I wouldn't say more interesting, but it had more elements to it that kind of made it a little bit more gripping. Um, not to say that
Action.
the Skihi Phoenix, yeah, right. Not to say that the Skihi Phoenix arc was boring in a sense. It just had a lot of really slow parts that I don't know if were necessary.
Yeah.
But it was definitely thought provoking, and I think that's what is so enjoyable about this second season is that it does make you think a little bit. I mentioned it. I did it twice in this one like single episode. I don't know how many times I did that in previous episode where I would go back to rewatch something like, that I had just watched. It's like, all right, I kind of was just like watching it and not really paying close attention, so I need to go back and like listen to it what they said again or watch what is happening on the screen.
Yeah.
I definitely can see myself watching this season again, probably in some time in the future, just to see if I can pick up on more things and just kind of absorb a little bit more that happens. Especially with specific characters, like you mentioned, like more of the interactions between Araragi and Shinobu. Like, there's got to be a lot more that like maybe I don't quite pick up on, or things that they mention to each other. Same thing with Araragi and the other characters.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of fun to going back and watching it, especially when you have all the context. Even as much as like second season context adds like a ton to the show too. So
yeah, and I thought the two, like Kaiki and Yozuru, I think that their introductions were pretty interesting too. am glad that they had these kind of like uh Oshino type of characters who are kind of influencing like the supernatural world around Araragi, but in like very like vastly different ways. I really like that whole dynamic. Kind of excited to watch going on like go moving forward to see who this fourth character is, because I don't like it could be anybody. So yeah, I think
your mom.
that the whole sort of antagonist part of the world. She sent me a text. Maybe that's why she's like sending me a text. She's like, "Don't
I'm the
talk
fourth
about me
character."
on the podcast."
Yeah.
Wow.
It's me. It's
Don't
been me the
mention
whole
me.
time.
Oh God.
Yeah, I like the Kaiki and Yozuru introductions in this season. Very excited to see more about them.
It kind of gets back to
If
like
they
what
come back.
Rolando was talking about, the different like archetypes of the character, good, evil, and like right in the middle. And that's a lot of like kind of what this show deals with too, is those good versus evil kind of topics, and it's kind of brought to the forefront, at least in this part of the season. So very cool. Any final thoughts before we wrap up Orishiri for this season?
What
I
what
didn't
does
expect
everyone
to
agree
like it.
with? Like, since we brought it up a few times, what does everyone agree with in terms of the discussion about what's more valuable between the real and a fake?
The try hard. The one who
I
tries
think
the
in
hardest.
this context, fake.
No. Let's
I
not
think-
talk about in context. What do you
Oh,
actually
you just mean, like,
in
in
general?
general?
Like,
Yeah.
what do you actually agree with?
It's hard to say, because like there's a lot of people,
Yeah.
like especially if you think about like in work, right? I'm comparing this to like my daily job or whatever. There's people who like think they know how to do the job or pretend they know how to do the job, and they're like really nice people, but they never really like make more work for you because they're not good at what they do, and they're like faking being able to do that position or whatever. And so it's like in that kind of context, I don't like it. I like it more in like the Monogatari context, like where they're bringing it up, where it's like, yeah, they're trying really hard to be something that they're not, and therefore they end up being more valuable. I like it in that sense, but in like a real world context sense, no, it's stupid. It's like anybody who tries to be something that they aren't, like, oh, I don't want to put your brother-in-law on blast, but he thinks he's a gamer and he yells and he's faking trying to be that, and it's just annoying. And
But how do you know
I don't
that
know.
real gamers don't yell?
that's true. That's true.
I think the thing that like makes me really question that
I've
too
watched
is
Tyler one before.
like I think of like who like what is like your actual real self, because I feel like people have so many influences, like whether they take things from movies, books, video games, TV shows, from other people that they know, like because you as a person just absorb all these things, and you may have mannerisms that you pick up from other people. So is that really your true self? Is that is that really you, or is that just you trying to fake being all this like mixture of other things?
It's not a phase, Mom.
I have
It's not a phase.
That's the thing though. Is that really you, or is that your
series right
fake?
here?
You go.
You play this series
Oh.
right here. It'll answer your question.
Oh yeah.
You're asking a lot about the self right there, and what is the true self?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is
Why
the
don't you
true
play
self?
some Persona?
I got Golden Boys over here that I
Play Golden Boy, dude.
Play Golden Boy.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I don't know.
You
I
don't know?
Yeah, to
It's
answer your
hard.
question,
It's hard.
no clue, no clue.
At least for me, I feel like a lot of it deals with, like, with the context of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as simple as she makes it, where it's like, one versus
Really?
the other. Go. I don't think it's that easy, and I don't necessarily think like maybe she was even thinking about it in that way, because she even changes her mind about like the decision that she's making.
Well, I think I tend to, if we're talking about
I
like
think you're wrong.
no. If we're talking
You're a
about
fucking
like,
idiot.
in terms
Damn.
of it, like in philosophical terms, I kind of agree with Oshino, because like if you can't distinguish between the fake and the real one, they're both of equal value. Like the value you put into it is in it of itself the value that it has, right? Because the value is based on your perspective. If you don't know it's fake and it's indistinguishable, then it's of equal value to the real one. The interesting thing, though, is in this situation, I kind of agree with Kaiki in the fact that the most valuable one is the fake, because if it's indistinguishable from the real thing and it's producing the same results, it's in and of itself given itself more value compared to the real one, because the real one already had its innate value, but this thing had no value and added upon the value on itself. So it's kind of like ahead of it in a sense.
See that here's the thing about that though. That relies on the fake actually doing a good job. In this situation, it's easy. Skihi hasn't really known any better, so she's in the family and nobody knows the difference. But like, kind of the example that I was bringing up, like in the real world, if someone's like faking but then not living up to what the real thing would actually be, that's where it becomes a problem.
But then it's not indistinguishable from the real thing. That's
Exactly.
That's where it's different.
It
That's right.
depends.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
If it's indistinguishable, that's where we can
Yeah.
say
It
it's an
depends.
interesting conversation
Yeah.
that Kaiki brings up
Yeah.
with
I
his
agree.
beliefs.
I agree with Kaiki in that situation, where it just seems like the one who was a fake and now has produced the same results as the real one, if they, they're more willing to put in work to produce those same results, whereas the normal one, the real one, just kind of stayed stagnant. And I find someone who's improving and progressing more valuable than someone who just stays stagnant. And I can put that in the real world too. You get people who are just innately good at something, but then don't put their mind to it. They don't improve. And then you get someone who kind of sucks at it and then improves over time. I'm one of those people. I sucked at math. And then eventually I went on to do multivariate calculus. And then I knew people who were really good at math and they ended up English majors. So I'm just saying, not that there's anything wrong with English majors, but in terms of the math aspect, they kind of gave up on it. So that's all I'm saying. But I think the fake has more value in most situations, because it does depend. Because then there's sometimes fakes who just suck. They fake it till they make it, and they never make it. So
that's why we like Oshino. Oshino's right down the middle. You get a little bit of both sides. Everybody's happy. You move on, right?
it depends. It really depends.
Very cool. Very cool. Cool show.
That makes sense. I'm drunk.
Already, damn.
It's 7%. And I
Did
forgot
like
to eat dinner.
15 minutes.
Ooh.
And it's been
Rookie
32
mistake.
minutes, 26
mistake.
seconds, and 28 seconds.
All right.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? I think that kind of covers most of it. I think we'll probably end up doing more Monogatari in the future, not necessarily this next season. I think we're still deciding if we're going to do Orange Theory for next season based on the number of shows that people are watching. So maybe give the season 3 episodes to figure out what's good or not, and we can kind of make that decision. Does that sound good with everybody? Or we're like, now let's pick another show now.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's come back to it.
Cool. So with that said, let's get into these beers. Alec mentioned your beer is 7% on an empty tummy. How's that treating you over there?
Excellent. Sorry, I can't make that hand emoji anymore. It's good. A little bit too good, I guess. Yeah, it tastes. So I'm gonna talk about it now. It tastes good. Oatmeal stout. It's a little low in the glass, but I smelled it earlier. It kind of has
Drink
that.
all of that already?
Yeah, I did.
That's what philosophical conversations do to him. It just makes
Yeah,
him,
I was
makes him
just
pound
sitting
the
here
beer.
listening, drinking,
you
and then
sip.
I started realizing, wow, I'm not paying attention or understanding most of this anymore. So I'm just gonna
My
keep
cognitive
drinking.
functions have been decreasing
Yeah.
as I've been doing this.
So I figured maybe if I continue drinking it, I'll get to that philosophical drinking part, and I'll be able to really
in the zone.
Yeah, in the zone.
In
I'm
the
not
zone?
in the zone.
He's not in the zone yet. Oh, man.
But it's treating me pretty well. The 7% is pretty strong. I do like the bottle art. Actually, this is kind of what drew me to it at the store. It's super simple, but it's got like, I don't know, intriguing bottle art. It smells like a stout. It's a little bit syrupy, soy saucy kind of smell, but I guess that's probably just like the roasty malts. And then the taste, it just tastes like a.
Is it really
typical-
sweet?
No, not at all. It's actually
No? Oh.
more on the bitter side, which the smell and the taste to me are
Ellie,
different.
it doesn't smell like that one stout that we had at
No,
your
like
place,
Parmesan
right?
cheese and dog treats or
Yeah.
whatever. No, it doesn't smell like
Okay.
that.
What?
No, it's
Yeah,
actually
that's what that beer smelled like.
it was really bad. It tasted fine,
tasted
but it
good,
was
but
it
yeah.
smelled really bad. Flavor's kind of bitter. It's more on the roasty side. Really no carbonation. It's pretty not like flat, but it's like moderate, I guess. The head dissipated pretty quickly. And then it just kind of, that roasty bitter flavor that lingers on your tongue with a stout, that just kind of sits there. Not in a bad way. If you like stouts, it's not bad. So, yeah, that's the beer.
Cool.
Trying my best here, guys. I'm
you went through that.
yeah.
It was just a glass though, right? You didn't like actually finish that much of that.
No, there's
that
still like
bomber. Okay.
you can see that.
I'm
one.
like, okay, good.
He's like
Yeah.
halfway
This
through the
is like
bottle.
if
though.
you're
Yeah.
that far in, we're only like 40 minutes into this
yeah,
episode.
no, I stopped. I'm only
Yeah.
sipping for this segment for this reason.
You need
Maybe I
some
need to stop you.
emergency Cheez-Its or something.
Emergency
God, it's so
Cheez-Its.
hard to get Cheez-Its now. Everyone bought all that stuff.
It's a hot commodity.
It is.
in the
Everyone's
zombie
like,
It's an
apocalypse.
essential.
We need
Toilet
it.
paper,
It's like
cleaning
you're-
products,
It's like you're playing
Cheez-Its.
this war of mine, and there's one character that needs Cheez-Its, or else their morale goes down, and that's Alex.
Yeah, that's me. You go get the Cheez-Its from the pantry in the faraway place.
Well, you gotta roll it, dude. You gotta roll
You
it.
gotta roll it. That game is fun. I want to play that again now. Anyways.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. We will jump into the beer that the rest of us are sharing. The Hummel Nord, again, a limited edition release from Mikkeller. It is a New England style double IPA brewed with one of my favorite types of hops, the Galaxy hop. And when you drink it, it tastes like Galaxy hops.
Oh yeah.
First and foremost, that is what you get for sure. But I've had this beer a couple times. I actually had it yesterday with dinner because I didn't think we were going to do this one because we did a hazy last week.
What'd you eat?
But as I was drinking it last night, what did I have last night? We had what did we even eat?
Chicken.
Oh no, we had leftover pork katsu. So we had like little fried pork.
That sounds
but
good.
anyway.
With an IPA.
It was good. It was delicious. I wish we had like the Japanese, like I think it's like bulldog sauce or whatever, like the actual like fried like accompaniment, like dark sauce. It kind of looks like hoisin's, like that plum.
The tonkatsu sauce.
Yeah, the tonkatsu sauce. Yeah. I wish I had that with it, but I didn't. But anyway, getting back to the beer, I didn't think I had it before, but then I remembered that it was like super familiar, and I actually had it when I went to Mikkeller pretty recently before all of this stuff went down. And it's good. I mean, it's nothing special. It tastes like a Galaxy hopped IPA or hazy IPA, which is what it is. It's nothing though out of the ordinary. A lot of your impressions of it.
I think it's very good. I didn't know it was a double New England IPA, and I feel like what was that? There was something else that we had. Oh no, Alec had last week.
Showing the stream.
Alec had a double New England IPA. It was labeled as an imperial, but I've seen it labeled as a double New England. And this is really hazy. Like this is what I expect when I drink a hazy IPA. And I guess it makes sense because the first New England IPA I had was it the Windy Hill from Mikkeller,
Yep.
and this is kind of similar in flavor profile, but way, I guess, stronger.
It's more intense,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Windy Hill is like kind of mild and like more juicy, I would say, but this is like full on Galaxy hop haziness.
But it's not
Mhm.
bad in my opinion. I
No.
think it's actually good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I do. If I directly compare this to the Star Cloud from last week, and that had a more similar profile to the Staff Magician at Mikkeller, I kind of like that flavor profile a little bit more because it's closer to a classic West Coast IPA
Mhm.
with the juicy elements. But this is actually still really good. I think this is a very good beer, and it is kind of that quintessential hazy New England style.
Yeah.
But it's very good. It's very like look how hazy this beer is.
Looks
Like-
like juice.
Yeah, it
A nice cup.
yeah, nice
Yay.
cup.
There's like a
Nice
pineapple, like
Yeah.
you blended like pineapple juice, and that's
Mhm.
like kind of what it would look like. Nice dark cloudy. It's similar to like how a Hefeweizen looks.
If you
It,
get,
it's
like,
very
Dole
it's
pineapple
very like a very heavy mouthfeel, but I think that plays into it.
It helps it for sure.
Yeah.
At least I think so. Mark, your thoughts?
Mm. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of like a New England style. Like it reminds me of the Trillium Galaxy cutting tiles. I think I brought one back for you
Yeah.
guys, right?
Yeah.
You guys tried that.
No.
Similar to
That's yeah,
Yes, you
that's
did.
what it is. What it reminds me of. Um, it's got a really strong flavor. It's a lot heavier. I mean, this compared to the hazy that I had last week, the Ogo Pogo Charlie, they're like wildly
like
two
that.
like two different beers. That flavor was pretty subdued. It didn't have like a whole lot of flavor. Didn't really hit you in the nose very well. This is just powerful. Like it packs a punch. It's got a lot of flavor. It's kind of heavy, but it's still very refreshing though.
Mhm.
The juicy flavors are really coming out. I think it's a little bit bitter, like on the very tip of the tongue, and on like the aftertaste, compared to the Galaxy cutting tiles, because that was a little bit heavier, like in the back of the throat. I don't know what it is about this. It just seems like it's got like a little bit of a sharp bite to it.
Yeah, you're getting it
Um,
like
I don't know if it's,
right,
like,
right there, right?
Right up front.
Yeah, I don't know if some of the malts, and that's what I was trying to look at, because I mean it's got corn malt, Vetemalt, and Haver. I mean, and there's a lot of names and words on here that I don't know what they mean. But
You're
it's got a
you're
lot of
reading
malt
A lot
in it,
of
though.
Nordic.
You're
words
reading
on
the
here.
ingredient list that's in German. It's actually barley malt, wheat malt, and oats. But
Right.
Oh, hey, maybe that's why. I just went
It's
to the
not-
right
it's
to the
not-
bolded
it's not
part, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I don't even know if it's German, but it's
No,
in some
it's-
other language.
I don't speak this language.
It's whatever Nordic language this is.
Yeah.
It's the Nord.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, what you said.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Keller is
Yeah, barley
technically
malt,
from
wheat malt.
Copenhagen, so
Yeah.
it should be from Denmark, right? So they're speaking Danish.
Yes.
This is Danish.
Danish.
David,
Yiddish.
are you in chat? Can you confirm for
Did you
us?
say Yiddish? It's not Yiddish.
No, Danish, not Yiddish.
It's not quite the same.
Not that.
David, if you're in chat, please confirm is this Danish
Oh,
or not?
while we're waiting, so I'm here in spirit though. I have the
Yeah, there you go.
Keller-
There's some
McKellar.
McKellar. Yeah.
Very nice.
That
Very
was-
nice.
There
Oh, I
we
should
go.
have
That was
worn
a
mine.
gift Areno.
I
Just
think-
watched it too.
I think the difference, at least between the beer, that Ogopogo beer from last week, is just like the experience of the brewery. I mean, McKellar, you kind of come to expect these kind of like bold, and like sometimes they take it over the top. It's like too much.
a little bit sometimes.
But their hazies at least are usually like pretty on point. I don't think I've had a New England style from them that has been bad. And they've kind of, I don't know if they've like perfected it, but like I think of like Trillium and I think of them as like two of the like better hazy IPA brewers, and Modern Times throw them in there as well. At least from the beers that I've had.
I
It
think
just might just come down to experience.
I think that's a bit on the nose because it does have to do with your experience as a brewer, especially with IPAs, because you have to know how the hops will like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
how how you hop it, whether you dry hop it or you wet hop it, and then also the exact flavors that they will impart. I feel like the Trillium, in my opinion, is a bit better use of the Galaxy hops than this beer, but this beer is by no means bad.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I mean, like the Galaxy hops by themselves they just seem pungent. Like it's a very strong flavor, and it's noticeable too. I mean, like if I didn't tell you what this was, and we like cracked it open, you'd be like, oh, that just tastes like it's Galaxy hops,
Galaxy
like
hops, yeah.
right off the nose.
Yep. Them and Citra hops, like, and this is where kind of like the experience of a brewer comes into play, I think, a little bit more, because like a lot of what I've been reading and a lot of what I've been told is like the Citra hops are like the cheating hops, especially if you want to brew like a hazy IPA, because you can just throw those in there and it's going to be delicious.
Yeah,
Galaxy, I think, takes a little. Galaxy and Mosaic, they take a little bit more fine tuning,
Some
but if they're
finesse.
done correctly, those are like the primo, I think, in terms of like these hazy IPAs. Those are my two favorite flavor profiles
Yeah,
for.
let's go experiment on this. Let's make a beer with
Make them with the
Syrup.
most expensive hops.
With
They're like
Syrup
so
hops and
expensive.
then Mosaic
Yeah.
hops and see which one's better. I think we know the answer.
So you're saying all these brewers are experienced, though. My question to you is: are they real or are they fake?
Are they
Bring it
good?
back.
Are they evil?
Experience usually equates to having some better products. It's just it's the name of the game.
I just lost the game.
I just
That's a good beer. I do agree with you guys though. This is like there are better beers than this, I think, but for like what it is, this is like a very good hazy double IPA. So if you're looking for like a very strong hazy flavors, very strong hop flavors with that like really good like luxurious mouthfeel, this is definitely for you, I would say.
Mhm.
With that, I don't know. Let's rate this, and then we'll go back to Alex. So, for me, I think I'm gonna give it a 4. It's very good. Kind of like we said, it's brewed well. It's kind of like it's what you would expect, and it tastes like that as well. Big citrus flavor, big hoppy flavor. 7.7% too. I don't think anyone mentioned that, but
Oof.
it
You
is
guys are-
very
Double.
alcoholic.
It's a
Yeah, it's a double. But yeah, very good. So 4 for me. Mark, what do you think?
Thinking 4.25. I think I might give it a 4.25. I think it's pretty good. I'm enjoying this. I don't think I've had a double IPA with like or any hazy with Galaxy hops in a while, so I'm very much enjoying this one. I'm like tempted to go get another one.
Do it.
Easy there, Tiger. It's a Monday.
Mark's
gotta work
like-
tomorrow.
Like
We're gonna have a contest to see who falls asleep first, me or Alec.
That's right.
Hey, bud.
Alex, like I'm halfway through this fucking bottle. So.
I just poured the rest, so it's gonna get warm.
Rolando, final rating and thoughts.
Yes, 4.
4.
It's a good beer.
Cool.
It's a good beer.
very
Not
good.
not in my opinion, not as good as last week's Star Cloud, but
I want to try the Star Cloud. Next time I go out and venture out into the danger world, I'm gonna look for it.
it's just personal
Scary world out
preference
there.
in my opinion. I think the Trillium Galaxy and Tile is a better Galaxy hopped hazy.
I think
I
I
like
think
the
that
Star
beer
Cloud profiles
specifically. I think that beer specifically to the Trillium one, the mouthfeel is better, and I think that's what makes it a better beer.
Yeah,
It was like it's like so smooth and like velvety, luxurious, and you're just like, this is really awesome.
well,
Hmm.
from what I can remember, this
Yeah.
beer just feels pungent and bitter, you know, at the tip of your tongue and like at the very like edge of the middle of your tongue, and the Galaxy and Tile was just felt like juice
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
drank a lot easier, but still being bitter. Like I liked the
Yeah.
complexity of the flavor of the hops being used there compared to this one, but this is by no means bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 4,
Obviously.
in my opinion.
For sure.
Mm.
Switching gears a little bit, Alex got our oatmeal stout over there. Final impressions and rating.
I think it's very good. I would buy it again. Especially I would eat with it this time. But like I said before, it's roasty. It's got, like dark chocolate kind of flavor, like that bittersweet flavor. It smells a lot like that. It's that not like a soy saucy smell, but it's like that sweet malty smell. But it's not sweet at all. So it's kind of a weird, for me at least, in my nose, which is messed up. It's like a weird like dichotomy, if that's the word, I'm using it correctly, between the taste and the smell. They're like different to me. But I like both. The mouth feels nice. So overall, I think I would definitely buy it again, and it's at the store down the street from me. So probably a 4.25.
Nice.
It's
A lot of good
I
beers
would
this week.
recommend
Well,
it.
2 good beers this week.
Four good beers.
Very,
same.
very good.
Very
cool.
good.
yeah, I want to try that. I've had a hazy from Ninkazi, and it was okay. It wasn't amazing. But
remember
I've seen a lot of their stuff, especially like in like the Bay Area. That's where I saw a lot of their stuff up there.
I've had something from Ninkazi, but I don't remember what I've had.
You said
And I think
Portland,
I had
right?
it in San Francisco.
Eugene, it says. Is that
Eugene,
Portland?
Oregon.
Yeah, Eugene, Oregon.
No, Eugene,
Um,
Oregon, south.
Yeah. So I was actually reading, I was looking it up to kind of see if I could get any information about it, but it looks like they have a vanilla version of the oatmeal stout. And so tasting this, I'm
Nice.
kind of interested to taste that. I think this would be better. Just tasting this and thinking about adding vanilla, I think it would just be like, oh, that's
More
okay. Like too
sugar.
sweet.
Straight vanilla
almost.
extract.
Yeah, just straight vanilla extract.
It's totally depends. We
40%.
talk about this with the stouts. Like if you add like that artificial like syrupy flavor, it's like disgusting. So if you like imbalance it, it's fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
They bottle the
Um,
beer, pour in the extract,
Vanilla extract.
shake it up.
shake it,
Stir.
give it a couple shakes.
There you go.
He
It's a
takes an
cocktail.
actual vanilla bean, he like cuts it in half and starts scraping the insides into there.
That would be fancy.
Delicious.
That sounds awful.
Super bitter.
That sounds terrible. Oh.
All right, let's jump into our news break here. I'll let Alec get prepped for that because there's a couple things that we want to show on screen. The first one, though, does not have anything we need to show, but we just want to kind of mention the Konosuba, the beer is kind of hitting me, 7.7%. Konosuba
You know my pain.
novel, the main series to conclude in the next volume. So volume 17 is the next one. It seems like the main, at least it sounded like the main character group. So like Kazuma and Darkness and Megaman and Aqua. Sounds like they're going away, but maybe the series will continue. Does anyone have
the
any?
main, it's the main story as the author had penned it because there was the web version, the web novel,
Mhm.
and so he's completing the story that he wrote there
Got it.
here, and then I think he's gonna focus on the Mega Man spinoff, is what I believe.
Interesting.
Mm.
We need to watch that movie. I keep seeing gifs of it. It looks hilarious.
Yeah, it looks really
The
funny. I'll
movie is
watch it.
funny. Alec and I
Yeah.
watched it earlier
It's
this week
hilarious.
while drinking. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Nice.
It's really
Nice. How
funny.
long is it?
Hour and a half,
Like,
I think.
yeah.
Hour 15.
Standard.
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Nice. Cool. Very cool. Next, My Hero Academia has been confirmed for a 5th season. I think we talked about that. And we'll talk about the kind of season finale in just a little bit. But there was a short video at the end of the latest episode saying a something new is awakening. And the author has released a short sketch thanking the fans. So I think we have that, or we're going to pull that up
I'm gonna
on
pull that up
screen.
here.
Yeah.
Should be up here now.
Get it up there.
Nope, let's get it up.
It's
There
from
we
his-
go. Now it's
From
up.
his Twitter.
It was up before,
Yeah.
but the menu was wrong on the other screen. So here, I think maybe, anyways, it's up. Do I
Cool.
need to play the video?
Do you?
Oh no, I think you were just supposed to show
Show
the
the-
Oh.
sketch.
Yeah, just the
Oh,
image
where's
from his
the- oh,
Twitter.
here
Twitter,
we
the
go.
Twitter image.
This one down here? That one.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting
Okay.
Kanaboon stuck in my head now.
Because he also was like, yes.
I can't open it larger. But yeah, that's it right there.
The artist is great, man. Horikoshi. He's super funny. He's been drawing like a bunch of like random pictures of different characters. He just did another Miruko picture. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Cool. Moving into a beer news. I guess it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's funny or not. Mexico stops brewing Corona beer, deemed non-essential during the pandemic. So no more Corona beer, at least from Mexico. I wonder if that
Hmm.
stops the. And I know they like brewed some of it in like Chicago and stuff. Wonder if that is stopping. Sounds like
I
it's
wonder
just
if it's a
Mexico,
brand
but,
thing. And they're like,
Could-
let's just disassociate our brand from this and not have it on the shelves right now. So people are like, it wasn't the beer. Because people are impressionable.
I think it was. I think it's more of just
More
like
of
they
it
don't
just-
want
yeah.
people there at the warehouses and
Yeah,
stuff.
Could be.
I'm
I'm just
sure
social
there's like
distance and
throwing out
thousands of
ideas.
boxes sitting in some distribution center somewhere that they're just gonna keep sending out.
It's gonna be
maybe,
bad,
but
yeah.
then people have to be at that distribution center.
Yeah, that's why he's saying they stopped doing it.
I
Yeah.
mean, they should just stop shipping it altogether.
It's just sitting there.
Just
it's
let
just
it
gonna sit there, so might as well send it.
No, just let it sit there. Wait.
Next piece of news: NHK is streaming a 4-part documentary series on Hayao Miyazaki for free. So the documentary is a close look behind the scenes of the legendary filmmaker.
I have that up here.
Yeah, it looks cool. This is like I don't know if it's like a first look, but it seemed like it was a very hard show to get a hold of and to get his approval to go inside his film studios.
Yeah.
So
They did the
seems pretty
Ghibli
cool.
documentary before.
right, and I think they referenced that in this too, because I think it said something about like 10 years. I don't know if that's like just going over the this previous 10 years or if it's been 10 years since the last
think,
documentary. I
yeah.
don't know.
The
It's been a while.
description says an exclusive 4-part documentary chronicling the creative process of the legendary Japanese filmmaker. He is known as a passionate artisan, a steadfast trailblazer, and a father butting heads with his son. So just figured I'd read that because it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty
In
neat.
other movie news, Mark will be sad about this. The Violet Evergarden movie has been postponed again, but
God,
with
no
no
next
release date
Violet
this
Evergarden.
time.
Just like The
Um,
Last of Us, Mark. Everything you
Oh,
love is
man,
being
don't-
postponed.
Don't remind me, man. Sad times.
Yeah, so this is the second delay. First having to do with like the fires in the studio. This time probably more having to do with the global pandemic. But hopefully we get a release date or at least some more news about it in the near future because I think
they
all of us are
release it
kinda-
online. That would be great.
We'll see. The last bit of news here, we talked about a similar site last week, but this week it is called supportbeer.com. This is another beer search, and I'm going to put it right there in the chat. So if you're looking to support local breweries and things like that, it will take you to many of their suppliers that have takeout and delivery options. So kind of like what we were talking about at the start of the show. So if you are a supporter of craft beer and craft breweries, check out supportbeer.com, make a purchase, support your local businesses, all that good stuff.
They got a lot. You can see it on screen here. Tons.
Mhm.
Tons of beer.
Tons
Tons of
yeah.
beers. Like a
Seems
lot.
like it's also very central to major cities again, but I think they're updating this one a little bit more than the Untapped one is for some reason. Because this seems like it's like a collaboration effort with like a couple of other different companies.
Yeah, and there is a
Um,
lot.
At least there's a lot on there. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
This one also will take you like directly to their websites
Yeah,
too.
which is nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, supportbeer.com, support your local
Good shout
breweries.
out.
It's very important during this kind of crazy time. So we kind of did it with McKellar. Maybe what I'm thinking about doing it for Modern Times. I don't know if any good breweries in LA that y'all want to support. But let us know. We'll.
I
pick
kind
up
of
a
want to
case
do
or something.
Mumford Brewing because I haven't had one of their beers in a while, and it seems like they deliver. So
Deliver.
see.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. That's it for the news. Let's jump into our happy hour segment. First, we're going to start off. Had to mention it this week. We kind of it's been a weird season in terms of like when shows are ending and things, but we did want to talk about the epic finale of My Hero. Episode 25 of
Oh
this
my
was, I believe, the
God.
4th season. I said it in chat as I watched it, but man, My Hero knows how to end a series. They make a character who is seemingly unlikable or, kind of you're on the fence about him and turn him into this like badass kind of god. And that's kind of what happened with both Endeavor and I would say Hawks as well. Very cool to kind of see them teaming up in action. You get like kind of all like super sentimental and you like see like his family supporting Endeavor, going through like this huge dramatic. It wasn't quite as good as United States punch or smash or
United
whatever.
States Detroit Smash.
But it was pretty epic. So props to the show for making Endeavor kind of like seem at least more likable, and it kind of ties in with the theme of last week of him like stepping up, and so that was pretty cool. So I'll open it up to you guys. Any additional thoughts about the show? I'm excited for season 5. I would guess that you guys are as well.
Why do we have to wait?
I know that's hard.
It's,
Right.
No.
Because
I was super lucky
that's how they
because
get you hyped, dude.
I was super lucky though, because you'll remember when this started, the season before or whatever. I was still catching up. Yeah, it was like didn't even have to wait.
Like nonstop My Hero for
You've
like
just been
7 months.
spamming it.
It's been great,
Lucky.
and now I have to wait, and I'm
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah, now you know the
Yeah,
pain.
welcome
you
to our
know how it
world.
feels.
Yeah. It's like what I did to my friends with Attack on Titan. Like I introduced them, I think when the second season, maybe like the third season was happening or
You said
whatever,
in the
and then
first
like
season. Like, oh, that would
no, but then they're like where's the rest of it? I'm like, oh, it's not out yet. They're like, what?
Wait,
Excuse
what?
me?
I'm new to anime. How does
Yeah,
this
you gotta
work
wait like the
exactly?
rest of us.
At least it wasn't the first season that you introduced
Right.
them. They're just
Oh,
like,
I
"Hey,
know.
They're like,
So we're
hang
not
on.
going to get a continuation. They're like, yeah, no,
Right.
maybe next year.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
Oh,
Next
no,
year.
no, never mind. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Give it maybe 3
So
more. We
they
might
know
get it.
they know the pain. They know the pain. But
They
now I
understand,
can
yeah.
suffer with you guys for more My Hero. It only took me 4 seasons, so you know.
Yeah, and now you're right in that bandwagon with all of us too. You're like, oh man, I can't wait to get
God,
more.
this episode was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. This is another thing that like I wanted to mention before because I mentioned a couple episodes with like the end of La Brava and like the school arc. We get like more of this world building too, and now like we're finally getting more of this familial side of things too, especially with Endeavor. So I like that kind of nod towards his family and the way that he's reacting towards it. And like you see like this sort of pain that Todoroki's feeling when Endeavor is like struggling and fighting for his life.
It really humanizes the character, whereas
Yeah,
before
yeah.
he would just kind of seem as like a very stoic, kind of asshole-ish, standoffish father. But it's like
Ashhole.
Ashhole.
Ash-
Nice one.
Ashhole-ish.
Nice one.
Asshole.
That was good.
That was a good.
but now you see his wife. You hear the scene of like, oh, like I told your dad that I like this flower one time, and he like continues to bring it to her. So it's like it humanizes him. It makes him seem less asshole-ish.
No, I'm gonna use ash.
Yeah, Ash.
Endeavor.
It's because he lights things on fire and turns it to ash.
Fiery
Turns it
man,
into the
dude.
sun. This phoenix, phoenix.
Endeavor Phoenix. Yeah, this was a cool episode though. I think they animated this so well. It
Oh,
was
so
badass.
Hawks is super cool too.
Hawks is
Curious
so
to,
cool.
to see
Hawks is
to see
badass.
more of him.
Yeah.
If anybody's a manga reader too, you know how cool Hawks is. He's
He's so
fucking
well
After
Badass.
this, I'm gonna be reading. I can't wait till season 5. I'm like, nah, I gotta
Yeah,
go.
you said this
I
like a
gotta go
couple
read it.
episodes ago, and you're like,
Well, I started
you're like, I might
reading.
just wait.
I started reading, and then I waited, and I'm like, I can't wait for another season. For me, it was like, oh, I could wait a week. Now I'm like, wait, I could wait like months. No, I can't.
It's good. You should catch up.
Any other thoughts for My Hero other than it being badass and sad that it's
Thumbs
leaving?
up,
Thumbs up, yeah.
all around.
We don't have to talk about it on the show, but Mark, you and I should talk about the ending of Dorohedoro because I'm like really like kind of upset that it's gone and it ended the way that it did. But
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
we've talked about it enough. I like every week is like, you guys don't say anything new. Just how great that show is.
It's so good.
It is good. I mean, the ending too was amazing. I am sad that there's no more. So for anybody who really enjoyed it, I would just say go read the manga. It seems like from what I read, some reports in Japan are saying that there's been reprints of the manga series. So
Nice.
it seems like it's been increasing again in popularity, which is awesome because the manga, she's a great artist. Her newest work right now is so ridiculous. So yeah, please go support the manga if you really liked it. Who knows if there's going to be a season 2? I hope so, but we'll see.
I saw somewhere that there's 6 OVAs, but I don't necessarily
yeah.
know if there's going to be a continuation of the story. It kind of seems like how it ended. It should continue the story, but we'll see when the OVA release. So.
Mhm.
With that said, let's move into our spring 2020 premieres, whatever you want to
Wow.
call them. So kind of what I wanted to do, I guess, for this segment is just go down the list and we'll talk about kind of what you're watching, and then we have our 3 episode rule. We're going to talk this week about Yesterday wo Utate, and so we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. But we'll just kind of go through the list, say what you watched, and if there's like 1 or 2 sentences about what you watched, if it's like interesting, if it's bad, if you're going to continue it, we'll kind of do it that way. So Mark, you're first on the list. What are you watching? What's interesting? Just give us a few thoughts.
So I kind of wanted to get like your guys' thoughts too on Tower of God. This is one of the ones that I promoted heavily. I thought the first episode was pretty good. The animation style is a little odd sometimes. It's very unique. The Oki I wasn't really a big fan of. There was like a lot of black titles, but the ED was really good. So I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of OP, but yeah, I like this episode. I thought it was really cool. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well.
I did not like the animation style, but I actually did really like the first episode.
Alec?
I liked the first episode. The animation, I'm like torn on. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I dislike it. But I did like the first episode. It kind of caught my interest. So I'm looking forward to continuing to watch it.
I did not watch it. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't really have interest in it. It doesn't seem interesting to me. And I think it didn't hook me in terms of like with the premiere, or not the premiere, or the why can't I think of words? The thing that they show prior to a show preview. There we go. God, the preview did not hook me, and then the art style really didn't sell me on it. It's like super rough, and I don't really like it. So not something that I'm interested in. But if you get in 3 or 4 episodes, you guys are like, this show's crazy, maybe it's one that I'll pick up.
It's
next,
definitely it's definitely a unique premise that is done very well. Maybe unlike one of the ones that I'll talk about a little bit later. And plus the main character is actually likable. Like he's this kind of helpless kid that is actually likable. So it's
Is he likable?
It's not quite that trope.
Were you the one
Is
that
he
posted?
likable, though?
He becomes likable.
Were
I
you the
thought
one that
now.
posted like the reasoning why Crunchyroll decided to translate his name as Bam instead of just calling him Knight or Yoru as he's being called in Japanese?
Yes.
You were the one that posted that, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
So that was an interesting thing because it's one of these ones where they're taking a translation from the Korean translation and then they're translating it to Japanese, and then from there to Japanese they're translating it to English. And it's like one of those really difficult things to translate because his name itself in the original Korean, it means 2 different things actually. So it's very confusing. So in Japanese they call him Yoru, but his name is Bam. But in Korean they call him Bam, but that means 2 different things. So it means like chestnut, but his actual name is also like the 25th Night or something. Yeah. So it's this really kind of weird translational kind of gap. I am just gonna kind of call him Bam, because that's how the manhwa is, and that's
I feel
what
like they should have done
his
that with
name.
the Japanese translation too. They should have just called him Bam.
Right. Yeah, and that's another thing that I kind of it's weird watching something after you've already read it, because it's like I'm so familiar with seeing this person's name, but now that they're saying it and then the translation is saying something different, I get this really weird disconnect. And that's the same thing with like Kingdom. It's like I really like the new season of Kingdom, but I'm so used to reading all of these characters' names in like the Japanese sense, and now that the anime is like translating them in the Chinese version, but they're still saying the Japanese names. It's just it's really weird. Yeah, it's throwing me off.
That's why I was confused when I was watching, because I'm like,
yeah,
they're not saying Bam.
Yeah, they keep saying Yoru. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
That was
Like,
weird. Because like the other characters are like the same name. It's just Bam.
Yeah.
They're calling him Yoru in Japanese, but not in
Yeah,
in the
Yeah,
translation.
it's just because of the meaning behind his name, really. That's kind of like the only thing I can say, and that's why there's like this weird disconnect.
I feel like they
Yeah.
could like because it's a Crunchyroll original. I feel like they could have exerted creative influence into this and just had them say like his name is Bam.
Yeah, just say
You know,
Bam.
like
just
Seems simpler that way, right?
just say Bam.
yeah, whoever the creative director like should have probably taken his position, his or her position. I'm not gonna judge, but and kind of exerted that.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the first episode. I think it's gonna be a good series. Yeah, so the next one I have on this list is the Nami yo Kitakure, and that's the radio broadcast one. What is it? Wave or something?
Yeah, wave,
Listen-
listen to me or
listen-
something.
Well,
Listen,
listen, wave, listen to me, please, or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. This is a weird one. The first like 10 minutes was just so odd. I had no idea what was going on with the
Yeah.
bear.
Well,
But,
until you find
like,
out that it's fake.
Yeah, and then the second half was like kind of funny. I'm not sure how I feel about this one.
I agree with you.
I-
with this.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble paying attention during this episode. It could
Yeah.
not keep my attention for longer than a few minutes,
Mhm.
and then
Oof.
in the first 5 minutes where they're doing the bear thing, I got really
Yeah.
distracted at how they animated the mixer moving up the fader, and her voice was getting lower. And I was just
Triggered.
like, what the fuck? Like, that is the first thing that popped into my mind. I'm like, that, what? And so that just
Up
really
is
distracted
down.
me. And then I was already distracted and was on my phone while watching the episode. And just
Up
couldn't-
is down.
I'm glad we
Thumbs
didn't
up.
3-episode rule that one.
Yeah, I mean,
This one's a
I mean,
3-episode
I've-
rule for me. Like, I can't
Yeah.
like just knock it after the first, but it's already on the list for me.
Yeah.
mhm.
I'm gonna see how it
for
goes.
Potential drops.
I will say though that the VAs in this, and mainly the main character, like she does a great job. Like it just keeps going, like ranting for minutes and like nonstop, and it's pretty funny. It just for the VA alone, it's kind of funny. Some of the stuff is just so
It's just
random.
random.
It had moments that were
Yeah.
funny, but otherwise, I agree. It was really hard to pay attention to the whole thing. I find
Yeah.
myself not dozing, but just looking
like,
away and then being like,
yeah.
"Oh wait, they just started yelling. What's happening? Oh, she's ranting again."
I don't know if it's because her voice was just going on nonstop for the whole episode, but I just couldn't pay attention to what was going on.
Yeah, well, it's also stuff that like I can't really relate to. Like I have
Yeah.
no idea what she's talking about. Like about the guys
not-
from.
A woman
Like,
from
I don't know
Japan
what-
that is
Yeah, I don't know what the dating
men-
life is
the difference
like.
between dating men from Kyushu and Hokkaido and
Fukuoka.
all that. Oh, my
Yeah, I'm
gosh.
like I don't know what any of this means. It just sounds funny because she just keeps ranting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, none of it's true.
No.
It's all stereotypes. Didn't you read? Didn't you listen
Yeah.
to what she said?
Yeah, didn't you listen,
she
Wave?
took it all
Yeah.
back.
Wave. Didn't you listen, Wave, to
Yeah.
her?
Yeah.
I was trying to listen. It was just a lot.
Yeah. So,
Next one I have is Kakushigoto. I'm not sure how I feel about this one either. Kind of funny. It's kind of cute. I don't know. Just
I kind of like it, and I know, like, because I introduced it last week or whatever, and I don't know. This is like, there's a weird niche of shows that are similar to this that I like that do not fall as what you guys would categorize as a show that Drew would like, but it reminds me of like Kiniro Mosaic, cute girls doing cute shit kind of show. And I don't know, I just think it's kind of cute and it's kind of fun. It's like, it's really easy to watch, and it's done pretty well. The voice acting's good.
I'm going to say that I thought that you would like this show. It's these guys that didn't think you would like this show.
But see, Rolando knows me better. He knows
I don't think I said either
I
way.
like those really weird niche, like
It
Rabbit
seemed like
Cafe,
that weird,
Kiniro
like,
Mosaic.
weird-
Yep.
It just seemed like that kind of show that you would like, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. It's sort of funny. It reminds me a little bit of that mangaka to assistant son anime, but like less like 4-koma typical comedic, and more like there's an actual story between like this father and the daughter.
Yeah, I when I previewed it, I thought it was going to be more of a comedy, and it's not really that. It's more of just like the story between the relationship of, and I think the OP does a really good job with this. It's like the relationship between this girl as she grows up with her dad, kind of like
with her
keeping a
dad
secret from
Araragi.
her. Yeah, and he looks like Aranagi. He sounds exactly like him. So it's like it's the same VA. We talked about this already, but it's like it's super super similar. If you like take all the like etchy components of Aranagi, just like put him in a character who draws manga, like you get like his character, which is kind of funny. I don't know. I'm gonna definitely continue watching it unless it like starts getting stale. But I don't think it will. I think like there is an overarching story. It's not just about the comedy. And it's just fun and cute to watch.
It's also funny because the wordplay. So there's like Kakushigoto is like 2 word plays. So you can have it Kakushigoto, which is like a hidden thing, or Kakushigoto, which is what he says his job is being a mangaka. So his job is to draw. And then his daughter's name is Hime. So her name is Hime Goto, which just means secret. Is like another way of saying secret. So it's funny how they just with his name is the anime, but like and the names of his daughter too. Like it's really interesting that they're able to put all of this kind of wordplay in there. And I mean, it's fitting because he's Araragi.
Yeah. It's dope. I like this one.
It's so fitting.
I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I'm gonna continue watching it. I loved the scene where they were in Starbucks, and she just was saying, "Isn't this just start?" And then it would cut off.
They just censor it that way.
Yeah. Isn't it just start?
Next on your list, Mac.
Mac,
Next one I have on here is Next Life as a Villainess.
did not watch.
This one, I don't know how I feel about this one either.
You love it.
Like I liked it. I liked it, but I don't know how much I'm going to watch this. I might give this one a 3-episode rule. So that's me.
They're out for you.
They might be. I might give this one three episodes. It seems like, I don't know. I hate saying this because it's like I'm gonna say this like every season, but it's not like you're like generic isekai, because the main protagonist isn't the main protagonist in like the overall story. But I feel like I am not gonna like the main protagonist after like
Really?
a couple episodes. Yeah, she already kind of got on my nerves a little bit.
I-
And in like an annoying kind of sense, not in like a degrading, like, I don't know, what am I?
You see,
Yeah, I don't know.
I have the exact opposite impression. So I actually think that I'm gonna like this show. I've seen a lot of these isekai shows, but in my opinion, coming into this, just from the premise, I thought I wasn't gonna like her character at all. But this first episode actually made me like her character, and so
You know what it is? She
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of Iori from Idolmaster, and then like they don't have the same personality at all. But because like she's actually like trying to be nice and inclusive and stuff, which I like. But if something about her character, probably just the looks, it just reminds me of Iori.
damn.
And so I'm just like, nah, no.
So
I'm
you just
done. I'm
don't
over her.
you just don't like characters that. Well, I can't say that this character is not honest with their true feelings, but because like Iori is like your typical Tsundere character.
You don't
And
like
I don't like it.
liars.
Yeah. But I feel
Yeah.
like the way I thought this was gonna go was that the main character was gonna be scheming, but she actually is just kind of
That's what I thought.
straightforward
Trying to change, yeah.
and is like really trying to like change things, and just the difference between how her character is supposed to be from how she's experienced it in her visual novel to how she's trying to enact it. I think the way they foreshadow it, at least with like the opening animation, makes it seem like this will be one of the more like redemption-ish type stories, even though like she doesn't really need to redeem herself. It's just like she's redeeming the character that she's supposed to be, kind of. So I personally am looking forward to watching more of it, but I do like watching these types of shows.
All right.
On to the next
We'll see.
one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Moving on.
The
got a
next one I
lot.
have is Shacho Battle no Jikandes. It's like President or Get Ready to Battle or something. I will not be watching more of this. I thought it was very boring and
Didn't watch
kind of
it.
annoying.
You're the only one.
This, I don't really know how to describe it. Besides, this guy just falls into the position of being the president of a company that does like guild raids. But he's just doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to, have that position. But everybody around him and like they're like all cute girls are just like forcing him to do something that he doesn't want to do. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of annoying and not very funny. Just like really like overplayed gags and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, I'm not gonna watch anymore. So yeah,
Alright.
that's that one. So the other one I have here is Shin Sakura Tyson, and we watched this all together,
It's
Rolando, Alec, and I.
nonsense.
I don't really.
Yeah,
remember
it's
what
pretty
happened,
crazy.
but
I
just
don't know what
remember
went on.
Knowing that, where did this one bird-looking character go, and where did this
Yeah.
black-haired
It
character
disappeared.
come from?
Nice bird.
That's all I
Nice
remember.
bird. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to watch more.
I
just-
kind of do too.
I have no idea who the characters are. I don't
gonna
know
watch
what's
it.
going on,
Yeah.
but
I think I'm probably just gonna drink and watch it because it's one of those
Yeah.
shows. Like it's more fun when you don't know what's going on.
yeah, actually,
Just watch
that's
it for
that's
that
probably
mecha
what it is.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch it for the contrast of like idol anime and then the mecha, that action that happens. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
You
it's
get
gonna be
all in
awesome.
one. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
crazy.
then you should
the
watch the
perfect show.
Why is
Macross.
a wild
The
shit?
Macross. I think I need to watch the
You
Macross.
need to
Yeah.
watch the Macross.
God, it's the perfect show.
It's the perfect show.
It's the perfect show.
It's the perfect recipe. All right, last on my list that I have here is Pare Ranman, and I like the uniqueness of this show, and it's gonna be weird of me to say this. I like that it's very unique. Characters are
wild.
interesting, but it doesn't seem original. And this is something I kind of want to get into next week, as maybe we watch like episode 2 of it. There's something about it just makes me feel like it's full of like tropes and just like very safe anime, like main protagonist is quirky or like super smart, knows everything.
Quirky and a
like
genius.
Well,
Dr.
you
Stone.
made a specific
Yeah,
reference.
you did.
I'm getting Dr. Stone vibes.
As
main
the
character
only
knows
person
everything.
here who watched the entirety of Doctor Stone,
I'm sorry for you.
it is very much like Doctor Stone. Like I was watching it and I was like, this character is Senku. Like, oh, let me just make a steamboat real quick.
And
It's the
then,
fastest
and
steamboat
then-
in the
It's the
world.
fastest
and then
steamboat
sail all
ever.
the way to America with
Yeah.
it.
Float.
Like
They
8 days.
lived for
Yeah.
8 days with no food
In
and it
8
rained
days.
once.
Wow.
Oh.
They made it
Where'd you get all the
across
cups?
the Pacific Ocean in 8 days on
Drinking
his
Yeah, I wanna
fucking
talk about this one
jank-ass
more.
steamboat.
I want to talk about this one more. Maybe next week. Maybe let's get 2 episodes of this one, and I kind of want to talk about this one a little bit more.
I'm down
it's
because
Yep.
it's different, but
3-episode rule for
I-
me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
3
drop it
episode
after
rule.
3 if it doesn't improve in my opinion.
I might just drop it
Yeah,
after 3
and-
because it's too much like a show I watched 12 episodes of.
Are you really? Though?
and
No,
yeah,
someone's
and
gotta
really-
watch it.
But not to mention the main character, the guy who I thought was a female from all of the character
Yeah.
art
Yeah,
and the
looked
previews.
like a girl.
I
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
talking. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
Hey,
What
how's it
happened?
going? I'm bored of going
Yeah.
home.
Like,
Oh,
What's
You're a
wrong?
guy.
What bothered me was they had the one character in the modern-ish looking car that had a sound system before they're in a time period before sound recording existed. So
Oh, you mean the JoJo character?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
Got
All
him.
right.
got him.
not this time. There was sound recording forever.
Oh, okay.
You know, he was just
Excuse me.
doing all of that live. You didn't know that?
Oh damn! In the car, nice.
In the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
a-
know.
that's
I don't
a-
know. I don't know what to feel about that show. It's kind of like goofy, wacky, but it's also like annoying because the character, especially the main character, is not likable.
I don't like the main
Yeah.
character. I liked Senku better than this character.
Either of the main characters really, like the Japanese shogun or
Swordsman
whatever
dude.
guy, the samurai guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of meh.
He's not all
PA
that.
Works strikes again.
Yep.
Got him. All right, Alec, you had a bunch of similar shows, but anything you want to add? I will note that Art, Gleipnir, and yesterday, Utate, we're going to talk about more in depth, either this week or the coming weeks. But any other shows that you're watching that you wanted to point out?
Nah, he mentioned every show I watched.
Yeah. Good job. All encompassing.
Nesbird.
Rolando,
Yeah.
how about you? Any other shows that weren't mentioned that you got to get a first look at?
I did watch Listeners.
I did as well, yeah.
I actually liked the first episode. Mark fell
Me
asleep
too.
apparently, but he could have just been tired. So I'll give him
I
that.
was very tired last night.
I actually
Baby.
don't like the main guy character,
Mhm.
but the overall story that's happening and the world they're building, I actually am into. The thing that really bothers me about that main guy character is that he's another one of those typical no confidence male main character leads. It's just I fucking hate that archetype so much.
I agree with you, and this show really, really, really reminds me of Gurren Lagann, and I hate Gurren Lagann. Um,
Wow.
which is
And I
surprising because
hate
and it's like shocking because I really like studio triggered shows. I hate Gurren Lagann, and I hate it for the exact thing that Rolando just mentioned. Simone is like the worst character there has ever been, and he reminds me
He's like the main
exactly of the main character, or like the guy character in the show. I like the female character. I think she's really cool. I like the idea of these like earless people and these mechs. I like all that. But I had this show, like as I'm watching, this reminds me of Gurren Lagann. It's sort of creeping on that level, and I really do not like that show. So I hope if Mappa's doing it, so Mappa, they can't steer me wrong. I just don't know if I'll like the show or not.
Well, maybe
So
they'll
far, I
give
like
you,
it.
maybe they'll give you a spiral of truth into your goal.
Yes, drill to the heavens, and then
We'll get another Gar character in there to look like Kamina.
There we go. Yeah, that's what we need.
fucking Simone, man, fuck that trope.
But other than that, I saw the first episode of the continuation of Bookworm. That's still a good show in my opinion. And then I did see the first of the 6 currently available episodes of B&A, Brand New Animal, and it's interesting. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but I mean, it's there.
There's 5 more
There's
episodes
5
to
more
go through.
episodes for me to find out if I like it or not.
Yeah,
So
I was
the
gonna
6
ask you,
episode rule.
I was gonna ask you based on the first one, do you think it's like worth it, like me going in and watching like the first 3 or whatever? Because I'm like kind of on the fence about it because it's done by a good studio. I like generally what they do, but the premise of this show doesn't really interest me.
Trigger anime. But maybe wait until I see 2 and 3.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of come back.
I'm like on the fence about it. It's like I kind of want to know more, but it's like the premise doesn't really do anything for me.
It's a very bland premise.
Yeah. Makes sense. Getting into my shows, you guys mentioned everything that I've already watched. So yeah, it seems like a pretty decent season.
Yeah.
We'll see what survives 3 episodes or not.
We will.
And then speaking of the 3 episode rule, let's get in. I really like this show right off the bat. I think it's exactly kind of what I thought it was going to be, and I'm really good with that. But that's Yesterday wo Utate. Basically what we talked about. So a show that takes more adult themes or life after school and kind of presents them in a good way. So it's like you have this kind of deadbeat character who doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life. He has romance and relationship issues and kind of is thrown into a new situation with this new girl that gets introduced to him. So I really liked it. Those are kind of my initial thoughts, but I guess I'll open it up. Alec, your thoughts about this show so far?
I really enjoyed it. Uh, I enjoyed the main character. He wasn't kind of the. I feel like when we get a lot of the high school drama, I see a lot of the characters who are really like, insecure. He's insecure, but they're very like, oh, I have no confidence, and I'm not willing to like put myself out there and stuff like that. And it seems like right off the bat he was just like, I'm just gonna go do this. And so I enjoyed that about the character. I kind of like the drama that they have going on. So it'll be cool to have like, non high school, like you said, high school romance going on. And some more adult themes as you put in the script. It's definitely appealing to me to have, because we don't get a lot of these, and when we do, sometimes, I mean, I've only seen a couple, and sometimes they just suck. So
Golden time.
Yeah, speaking of sucking,
couldn't even get past the first episode.
Mark, this is a show that you've been personally clamoring for, because I know you mention it every time. What are your kind of initial thoughts about it?
Yeah, I like this first episode, and this is like one of those romance shows that I've been wanting to watch, where it's like not high school students who are like unsure of what they.
Oh, hang on. Wait. Wait. Source. Stream can hear me. I said wait. I had to reconnect. None. No sound.
it's so fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
I love almost all of the characters, even the fucking enemies.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to like about just. It makes me like, I used to only watch beach volleyball in the Summer Olympics, but now I actually want to watch
Right.
the team volleyball, both men's and women's.
I'm in
Mhm.
Discord.
I watch
actually-
the women's because those are like. some
I'm
of
in
the most
Discord. Can you
attractive,
guys
like,
hear me?
Female athletes, like my god.
Well, I mean, why?
Hello? Options. H6.
Spin off.
Hello?
Like the women's.
There you go.
Team?
I'm in Discord.
Oh, okay.
Source won't work.
So let me finish my talk on Haikyuu. But
Yeah, we kind of jumped around a little bit.
That's fine.
The-
Source isn't. You're not in it. So
it says you're not in it for me.
yeah, it says you're not in it for me, and I reconnected, so
I don't know, man. But I think in terms of sports anime, this is like near the top for me. Like this show is just so good. It makes you want to watch every episode. And I kind of looked at like what was in the third season, and I was like, holy shit, they take a whole season for this next match. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
an entire season for one single match.
It made me stop and go like, I can't start the third season because I can't watch like all 10 episodes just in a row because I know I'm gonna want to watch the next one and
Yeah.
just binge it. So I had to stop
totally.
myself. Yeah.
You showed
Wait,
some
the-
restraint. I would applaud you for that.
Yeah. I have to say, coming from just a completely fresh perspective, the way they ended the first season and the way the second season ended was very satisfying. Very,
Yep.
very satisfying.
Yeah. It's definitely they definitely know how to hype people up and get people interested, and the characters themselves are likable.
You love the
it's
side
a-
characters. It's just so good.
all the characters that you know may not like at the beginning start changing.
Yeah.
Character development is great. I can't be like, I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying this, but the level of like hype, like if you've ever watched like a sport or like you're a big fan of sports and your team scores, that's how it feels
You
so
fucking
often
care
in the
about
show.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you can feel their energy from
Dude.
you know, whenever they get a point or whenever they, you know, lose a match or something. Like you just feel for them. You feel for them so much.
Dude,
And
like-
it's so much fun.
Fucking Yamaguchi and Tsukishima, like at first, you know, like for me, I was just like, whatever. There's like fucking trash side characters.
Yeah.
Fucking Yamaguchi fucking stepped it up and was a fucking baller in the last match, and then
Yeah.
Tsukishima actually really impressed me because I was like, this guy like has like the natural talent to do the stuff, but like he doesn't give a shit. And then it took like the whole training arc and all that stuff, and then now he's like a fucking baller, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like these characters that
it-
I maybe didn't like at first, like I started to care more about.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you've been watching it and binging it because I've been saying for so long that it's such a good show. It's so much fun. I
is
can't wait
so
for
good.
Alec to start watching it too because
Yeah.
I know he's gonna start binging it.
Yeah,
When I got
it's gonna be
time.
bad. It's gonna be bad.
You gotta
Alright.
you gotta take time. You gotta do it.
That
Take
was
a day
the-
off.
That was our spoiler-free, I guess, for Alec. Spoiler-free for Alec.
And for the
Haikyuu
stream.
discussion.
And for Strim, yeah, sorry Strim.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
tried
I didn't
reconnecting
spoil
for a
anything. I
third
didn't
time,
say
so
anything about people winning or anything. I just said that people got better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Which is
You
true.
would hope that people would get better into sports anime, so I can't see that being spoilers. Back to the original topic though. Yesterday, Mark kind of, I don't know if you wanted to wrap up your thoughts or if anyone else had anything else they wanted to talk about. It's very basic. I mean, we're one episode in, but I know that I think I'm gonna continue watching it. I really like the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching this one. This seems it seems like something that we've been talking about for a while.
Mhm,
Seems like it's gonna be good at least.
Yeah.
I hope so.
mhm, mhm.
Rolando, anything to add?
No, not really.
Cool. So more to come with that. Next week, though, we're going to be reviewing art. First episode, I felt was okay. I'm curious to see more. I don't know if it will hold my attention, but we'll kind of see. And then the week after that, we will be doing the third episode for Gleipnir, which is interesting to say the least. I think we'll tease it a little bit here. A lot of unneeded sexuality,
Sexualization.
Sexualization.
of characters, which is, I think we all agree, is a little bit unnecessary, but we can kind of get more into that in a couple weeks. So With that, let's close it up for this week. A couple quick announcements. Mark is finishing up our logo. So Oi-chan, she is being put into different forms and things. One of them being a logo. So if you are in our Discord, you'll notice the Discord image is kind of up there. It's great. Thanks for that, Mark. As well as finishing up some other different logo prototypes. So be on the lookout for those. Also prototyping some Anime on Draft merch. We are looking at some like coasters and things with our information. on it, kind of
Drawstring
like
bags.
poster, business card sort of deal.
You're gonna say
So,
drawers.
Drawers.
Some draws.
Get
so
your
be on
drawers
the
here.
lookout for that stuff.
You know, drawers like in a cupboard.
Draws.
Drawers.
Any last thoughts with the beers, guys? I don't really have much more to say. I finished mine.
Here's mine.
So for us,
It's real
check out
good.
the Hummel Nord from McKellar, and then Alec, remind the stream one more of the one that you're drinking.
It's the Ninkasi Brewing Company Otis.
Very good.
Oatmeal
So
stout.
high ratings for both these beers this week. So if you can, make sure you grab yourself one if possible. Again, kind of hard to do it. But with that said, make sure you check out our website, animeondraft.com. It's out in the stream. Click the link, check it out. It's got most of our information there. Kind of anything that you want in relation to Anime on Draft is located on animeondraft.com. A link has also been dropped to our Discord. Make sure you check it out. It's a public Discord for the Anime on Draft podcast. Come talk about the memes. Come look at the beers we're drinking. Come for the laughs, and come for the merch and Aoi-chan updates because they'll probably be there first. So again, everything kind of located on our animeondraft.com website if you need the link to that Discord. We're also on Twitter at @AnimeOnDraft. Give us a follow and get up-to-date news about the podcast, up-to-date news about basically anything that's happening in the world of anime. And you can also slide into Mark's DMs at @AnimeOnDraft. We've got the Instagram as well. Instagram as well, Anime on Draft Podcast. Pictures of the beers, also located in our Discord, but will be up on Instagram as well. Anywhere podcast services are found, just search for Anime on Draft, SoundCloud, iTunes,
Spotify.
anywhere you find your podcast generally. We're also on YouTube. Again, just search Anime on Draft, catch the VODs. Also streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/animeondraft. Turn on those notifications. We currently stream Mondays around 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's where we are right now. Make sure you follow to get updates of when we go live. What else we got? Anything you'd like to speak about, speak to us about, hit us up in the Discord, or you can email at us, contact@animeondraft.com, or use the contact page on the website, like I said. And anywhere you do find our podcast, if you can give us a nice rating, 5 stars, greatly appreciated. You write a review, we may even read it
Rating.
in this section of the podcast.
We might.
I
Probably.
think that's everything, boys. Anything else to add? Routes up Monogatari this season. Got some new anime starting. It's an exciting time amongst everything else.
I think we kind of discussed maybe doing like some watch parties on the Discord. So I think we wanna do that at some point within the next week or so. So join our Discord if you wanna maybe watch some older anime or maybe some anime movies or something.
Post the link in chat for the Discord.
We got it up there. I
If
think.
it lets me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
There it goes.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Post the link.
It'd be cool. It'd be
Join,
cool to
please.
get some other viewers in there. And
We'll
that way
set
we
it
can
up.
all watch something together. And
Maybe grab a brew, watch some
Yep.
animes.
If you're not old enough to have a brew,
Exactly.
you can have
Have a
kombucha
soda.
maybe. If they let you have,
Kombucha.
if they let you buy the kombucha.
Or ginger beer. Because that's really just ginger soda.
Ginger beer is actually very good.
It's delicious. Be like kind of spicy, fizzy. And
Yeah.
it's and I do.
It's good for your tum-tum.
That's right.
It is. Same with kombucha.
Yeah.
All right,
that's true.
boys, we're getting off track. 7,
We are.
7% beers. It's a lot. So, Alec, transition us. Rolando, send us out with the music. Get us out of here.
get us out of here.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.